Hello, everyone. You are welcome to Pauline's Graphics Academy. I am Paul, and I am super excited to have you join us on this part of creativity. For today's lesson, we'll be looking at principles of graphics design and elements of graphics design. Now, let's dive in. Quick points I need you to take note of. These principles and elements of graphics design that I will be sharing with you today, either you are using phone for designing, or you are using laptop for designing, or you are using any software, be it for phone or for laptop. Once you follow these principles that I'll be sharing with you today, you'll be good at whatever you do. You'll be good at designing. So the first principle we'll be looking at, balance. In designing, there are three points of balancing, either at the middle, towards the left hand side, or towards the right hand side. Is these 3 points you can balance your work on. More example, any design you see, most of the designs we see, either all the contents right up are in the middle, or most of the content are in the left, or some of the content are in the right. That being said, we'll move straight. The next point, which is a contrast. Contrast has to do with your color, how you place your color, your coloration, and everything. So if your color is not placed properly, there is no way you get the best out of your design, because contrast is one important thing. It has to do with colors. I will not dwell much on these principles of the design. I will go straight to element, because I'll use the element to explain the principles. So let's go about this contrast, about blending your colors well, using the right color for the right place, using white color for dark background, using dark background for light color. That's just it. Then we'll move straight to movement, the positioning of your element. They'll move to hierarchy. In every design, there are positions whereby your object is to be placed. There are high ranking in every design. Which of them is the main message? Or whatever your design is, your theme that's the main message, or which of them is the main message? For the object we have on our screen, you can see before and after. If you look at the before, you discover that the image, they are both the man, which is the guy doing the submersion thing, and the whale. They are the same thing. You can't tell which is which. Normally, we know whale is bigger than a human, but this diver, you discover that he's almost the same size, but there's no hierarchy there, because you can see they are telling you of the same thing. But if you look at the after, you will discover that the whale is bigger. So the first thing your eyes will go to once you're looking at this image is the whale, because the whale is the center of attraction. That's what your hierarchy is all about. Your main text will be the center of attraction. So moving on, we have pattern. Pattern has to do basically with consistent line, different lines coming together, the repetition of lines, repetition of rectangle shapes gives you pattern of whatever you want to do, like what is shown in our designs now. So that is that about principles of graphic design. Like I said, there are guidelines that you must follow. Right, quickly we'll move to elements of graphic design. This year I will drop line. I will explain more. These elements of graphic design. We have line, we have shape, we have color, we have texture, we have space, we have font. Quickly, I will talk about this line. When we are talking about line, we are basically talking about everything that has to do with lining, as far as lining is concerned. And we have different type of line. We have a vertical line, we have horizontal line, we have diagonal line, intersecting line, we have perpendicular line, we have parallel line, we have zigzag line, we have curved line. All these are types of line. But how you manipulate it to get what you want is what matters. Like what you have on the screen. This is about lining. So with your line, you can achieve so many things. Most people call this one, I don't know the name they call it, but all these are line. How you manipulate it. So quickly move to the next one, which is shape. Now, shape has to do with your rectangle, your square, your star. In designing, you also need all these shapes to give you exactly what you want. You have geometric shapes like what you have on the screen now. Your geometric shapes. All these are formed from our normal shape. So we can have geometric shapes with even geometric lines. We can have them, but all these ones are formed from using the right shape. And you can also use your shape to form pattern. With your shape, you can form patterns. Repetition of lines and shape, you can get patterns. We move to our color. Now, color is very, very important. I need to understand that color is very, 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 very important for your design to speak well, for your design to look attractive, and for your design not to look like where Masquerade did their dancing. Your design must be very, very attractive, not too busy, not too chalky, but just straight and plain. Does not fight with the eyes. You don't need to strain yourself when looking at the design because the colors are appealing. So working with design, you need to make use of the right colors. Mind you don't use dark colors, dark write-up on dark background. If not, your write-up will not come out where your message will not be passed. More also, you don't use light colors on light background. Also, your message will not also be passed. So if you observe this color theory, you can go and study about color theories. It's very, very important. Just take your time, study about it. You discover that there's a whole lot about color theories, how to manipulate colors, how to work with colors and everything. More also, you will discover that it's not all colors you use. There's some colors that are meant for specific design. You will not use the color for happiness, you go and put it for royalty. It does not speak well. You cannot use the color for calmness, you go and put it for nature. For example, you want to do a design for agriculture. We know agriculture is related to probably green color, lemon, and the rest of them like that. You're not using red. It doesn't tell well. So using the right color matters a lot. So quickly we move to texture. You agree with me? Every design has a background, and that background tells more of the texture, the feeling, how you feel it. Your phone has a texture. Your laptop has a texture. Your screen has a texture. So there are different kinds of texture. So like what we have here, and we also have patterns for texture also. So we move quickly to the next one, which is space. When we are talking about space, we are talking about lines in between. For example, when we are typing, we are using a Microsoft Word. There are line spacing in between is what we call space. More also, just the same way you need air to breathe, your design also need air to breathe. If you saw the diagram on the screen, you discover that from your left you see the right spacing pattern, and the right is the wrong spacing pattern. That's what you should note. So once you are designing, there should be space for your write-up to breathe. There should be space for your images, your objects to breathe also. Because once it's too choky, how you portray the message is supposed to portray. So quickly we move to fonts. And we are aware there are different types of fonts. There are different kinds of fonts. And we have the sans serif, we have the serif, we have the handwritten font, we have the script font, we have the display font, we have the monospaced font. But for the sake of this lesson, I'll be talking basically on let's say four. One, we have the sans serif, we have the serif, we have the scripts, and we have the decorative fonts. Now, looking at what you have on the screen, you discover that the sans serif don't have any coily edge. They are plain. Any coily edge, they don't have any coily edge. Now, example of sans serif that you can relate with, you have the impacts, we have the Montserrat, all those ones, they are the sans serif, classical example of sans serif. We have the serif. The serif are text, fonts or typeface that have curvy edges. For example, we have the Times New Roman. It's a very good example, a serif type of font. Then we also have the script font, talks about all those calligraphic type of fonts. You get those coily type of font that we have. Probably for most people want to do some designs, you have use calligraphy type of fonts to bring out a very nice, sweet design for their work. Calligraphic script fonts, those fonts, they go well. Then also we have the decorative fonts or typeface, as the case might be. These ones, they are decorative already. You don't need to add any other thing to it. They are just pre-designed. They are decorative. For example, we have some fonts that you can get. Let's say old English or old London. Old London, that is a decorative font. Old London is a decorative font, and so many other they are decorative fonts. So these are the elements of graphic design. So thank you for staying through and enjoying this section with us. Don't forget to click the subscribe button